Hi, I'm Evelyn, Minister Evelyn Stone, and this is my husband, Anthony Stone, and we are fulfilling a role in the play, Love Covers, and we are doing a married couple. And the play that we're in and the part that we are playing in actually is dealing with some issues that are happening in the marriage and some different things that are taking place at that moment and in that time. And, you know, to be honest, me and Anthony, we've gone through some things ourselves, and we know what it is to have different things in a marriage where you have some struggles or you need God to come in and do some teaching, and we know what it is to need God to come in and do healing or give us some knowledge and things that we didn't know. He comes in and deposits them so that we can be a healthy married couple, and I'm really excited about it. I encourage you guys to come on out so that you can be ministered to in your marriage. It may not touch you in one area, but there's somewhere in that scene that God will minister to you concerning your marriage, right?
There's also a part in the play where one married man is having an affair with one of the ladies, and they kind of get caught in a cover-up. And so what happens that people get off track and they end up in affairs? Do you have anything you want to say on that? What happens? What is it, low self-esteem? Is it the pressures of the job? You know?
I think for a lot of men who have affairs with their wife, there's typically something missing in their life that they feel they need to fulfill. The lack of the wife not fulfilling her roles, and there's just, peer pressure, not having the support at home, just a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
You got this person that comes in and basically says, hey, by the way, I'm interested, and here's the things. Here's the 2% of things that you're not getting.
Wow. Wow. 2%.
Yeah, 2% of things that you're not getting at home. And I'll give these 2% to you. And it just seems like it's so great. Like these 2% are so great that you regrettably have an affair on your wife. And I think in the play, the characters that play the affair roles with their characters, they really show how it can escalate into something that you totally don't want it to be.
I heard you say earlier that sometimes the man feels like he's not getting what he needs at home or vice versa. And a lot of times people say that affairs or things that happen is usually the man's fault, that he's just wandering. But sometimes it could be the woman. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I strongly 100% that it's both parties.
Mm-hmm.
I think for men, we have to be stronger
mm-hmm.
and understand what our role is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of times with some women,
mm-hmm.
they feel like they don't understand the role of how their strength
mm-hmm.
are to be carried out.
Mm-hmm.
They think that if they're loud and overbearing and a lot of other things that I can really go into detail about,
mm-hmm.
They think if they do that, then they're being a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes silence is strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times that with some men, their women are big naggers and it's just a lot of drama at the
mm-hmm.
house.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this person that comes along that seems as if they don't have that drama.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's good.
It's attractive. It's attractive
mm-hmm.
to them. And I think with both roles in marriages, you have to find out how to use your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to unite those two
mm-hmm.
elements and work and use those to work together. And I think a lot of marriages don't know how to use their strengths and their weaknesses together to have a united front.
Mm-hmm. And Sister Evelyn, what would you tell the ladies how to communicate with their man? Now, you've been through, like you said, you've been through some stuff yourself. What was the thing that you learned about the communication, the things that you're missing? Because he's being very clear to say that there's different things that we're missing, but they may have been things that you didn't even know he needed. So what would you say to that?
I think one is understanding your husband's or your fiance, if you have one, their love language, and understanding what their love language is, understanding how to communicate with your spouse or with your fiance. Men and women are very different. Women are a little more emotional. Men have a tendency to be a little more logical, and it's really getting to know who they are, and not always imposing who you are on your man, but learning who your man is, getting comfortable in the knowledge, and then loving him with where he's at, loving him in the place that he's in, and then always spending time in the presence of God. God always downloads in our spirits what we need to be the wife that we need to be. You know, marriage didn't come with a whole manual. It did come with the Word of God, and there are some specifics in the Word of God about how we are supposed to treat our husbands and respect them so much like almost our relationship with Christ, and just really knowing their love language and communication and understanding that we're different. And it's okay that we're different. It's okay that your husband's different from you and you're different from him. Just making sure that you are communicating with him and understanding where he's at. That is one of the hugest things ever. And being honest, but doing honesty in love. And saying things out of love instead of dictating or fussing or nagging. That causes a lot of times men. You know, men don't want you to nag. They don't want you to fuss and to pull and to pry. And when you do that, they have a tendency to completely shut down. And I know in Anthony and our marriage, we've gone through some things, and God has done a lot of deliverance in us as individuals, just as people, but then he's teaching me about being a wife, and then teaching my husband on how to be a husband, and teaching us what covenant really means. And marriage is supposed to reflect our relationship with God. And so when you think about that, the way that I treat my husband is supposed to be in honor to God and my relationship with him. And so it's just making sure that you're in your word, studying what your role is, fulfilling the role that God placed in you. When everything is in order and you do it the way that God intended, it comes together. It folds together and it meshes, and it's awesome. Covenant is a beautiful thing, and it's meant to be sacred and kept. It is not to be breached.